And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the heart of the Inland Empire, right here in sunny Southern California, it's Robert Cardoza Live, where we talk about politics, money, and you. This is the intersection of business and politics. And now here's your host, Robert Cardoza.
And welcome aboard. I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. And you know what? It's Monday. We've got another full week of fantastic show for you. I want to remind everybody, tomorrow's a very, very special day. It's Valentine's Day. So, keep your Valentine in your heart and in your thoughts all day. It's a way to stay happy. I can guarantee it. That's what you're going to want to do. Well, I want you to know that at 3:01 p.m. Pacific time, currently 74 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. It's on its way down to 50 degrees. But you know what? I'll be giving you more weather updates for our globally syndicated show from all over the world, just as the show goes on a little bit later. But let's talk about news. You know what? Actually, let's not talk about news. Let's talk about what the show is going to be. On today's show, we're going to talk about what's in the news, new legislation, the IRS loses. We'll be doing our new segment, or continuing our new segment, the tribute to the late, great Paul Harvey, the rest of the story. Today's story, pigeon problem. You know what? You're going to love this story, so you're going to stay tuned for it. Also, we're going to have our own Jon Matthews and Joe Hakos will be on board. We'll be talking about conservative politics and fake news and all that kind of stuff going on today. And then after them, we'll be talking to that little old wine drinker, Jon Hansen. Jon will be talking about food and wine. We'll probably talk a little bit about the tragedy at the Anaheim White House, one of our favorite places. But right now, let's talk about news. Right up at the top, UN chief condemns North Korea test. The United Kingdom says the council will too. You know what? The United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres strongly condemned North Korea's latest ballistic missile launch, and Britain's UN ambassador said ahead of an urgent meeting of the Security Council today that its member nations had agreed to condemn the test. Britain's Matthew Rycroft told reporters that all 15 council members signed off on a press statement condemning the launch. The council was meeting behind closed doors to receive a briefing on the launch and discuss possible actions. Earlier, U.S. President Donald Trump pledged to deal with Pyongyang's very strongly. North Korea has repeatedly flouted 6 Security Council resolutions demanding an end to its nuclear and ballistic missile activities and has continued to launch missiles, escalating tensions on the Korean Peninsula and in the region. The missile test conducted early Sunday is seen as an implicit challenge to Trump, who has vowed a tough line on North Korea, but has yet to release a strategy for dealing with a country whose nuclear ambitions have bedeviled United States leaders for decades. North Korea is a big, big problem, and we will deal with that very strongly, Trump said at a joint news conference today with Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. Well, we'll see what happens. It's, this is not looking good, but you know what? Here's the thing. Every new president, it doesn't make any difference who it is, gets challenged sometimes within his first 100 days in office. They kind of push him against the wall to see how far the new president can push. Well, I think they got a surprise coming. This new president doesn't push at all, so keep that in mind. And you know what? Drivers see a higher premium after not-at-fault crashes. Here's the deal. Most drivers don't expect to be hit with a rate hike on their auto insurance after a car accident that wasn't their fault, but a consumer group says it happens and it's a problem. The Washington-based Consumer Federation of America says that it found rate hikes on annual premiums as high as $400 in some cases. In the report released today, the group analyzed premium quotes in 10 cities, including New York and Chicago, from 5 of the nation's largest auto insurers. The researchers found that Progressive aggressively used a not-at-fault penalty, surcharging drivers in 8 of the 10 selected cities. Rates in Oklahoma City and Los Angeles did not change. Oklahoma and California prohibit not-at-fault penalties. The group said that Geico and Farmers raised rates in some states by 10% or more. Allstate had occasional penalties. State Farm was the exception, with no increases on premiums for not-at-fault accidents. You know what? That's the way it ought to be. These guys, somebody's got to straighten these things out. They treat us like we're a commodity, and I guess to them we are a commodity, but it's unfair. What we need to do is stop buying their product and be competitive. Yeah. Well, Treasury nominee is heading for confirmation despite criticism. President Donald Trump's pick for the Treasury Secretary headed towards Senate confirmation today, despite strong objections by Democrats that the former banker made much of his fortune by foreclosing on struggling homeowners during the financial crisis. Republicans said that Steven Mnuchin, his long tenure in finance, makes him qualified to run the Treasury Department, which will play a big role in developing Trump's economic policy. He has experience managing large and complicated private sector enterprises and in negotiating difficult compromises and making tough decisions and being accurate for those decisions, said Senator Orrin Hatch, the Republican from Utah, the chairman of the Finance Committee. Votes for Trump's cabinet nominees have exposed deep partisan divisions in the Republican-controlled Senate, with many of the picks approved by mostly party-line votes. The vote on Mnuchin was expected to follow that same pattern. A separate vote on the president's choice to lead the Department of Veterans Affairs, David Sulkin, was expected to be far less rancorous. Well, we'll see what happens with that. It just, it's politics as usual, unfortunately. That's what's going on. Well, you know what? Canada's Trudeau talks trade with Trump at the White House in a political odd couple. President Donald Trump and Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau routinely played up their similarities at their first meeting today, even as obvious differences lurked behind their public smiles. After the White House meeting, the North American neighbors emerged to hail their close ties, with Trump promising to build upon our very historic friendship, and Trudeau noting the special bond between the countries. Well, it was hard to escape their contrasting worldviews. Speaking to reporters, Trump defended his restrictive refugee and immigration orders, saying that we cannot let the wrong people in. Trudeau, on the other hand, said Canada continues to pursue our policies of openness. Trudeau later acknowledged that there are times when the two countries differ, but he said, the last thing Canadians expect is for me to come down and lecture another country on how they chose to govern themselves. Well, that's just a fact of life, right? Not only is the last thing people expect, nobody's going to pay any attention, so it shouldn't happen. Well, you know what? When we come back from our break, I want to talk to you about Trump, and he's going to be evaluating the situation involving Flynn and Russia. His national security advisor really stepped in it. We'll see what actually transpires. So don't go away. We're going to go for a short break. We'll be right back, and I'll talk to you about Trump and Flynn after these brief messages.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. Nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. And at 3:12 p.m. Pacific time, it's still 74 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire, on its way down to 50 degrees. Well, let's talk some more about the news. Trump is evaluating the situation that was involving Flynn and Russia. President Donald Trump is evaluating that situation regarding his embattled National Security Advisor Michael Flynn's conversation with Russia's ambassador to the U.S., the White House said just today, deepening the uncertainty surrounding Flynn's future in the new administration. Flynn apologized privately for the controversy to Vice President Mike Pence, according to a White House official. Now, Pence, relying on information from Flynn, publicly vouched that the retired Army Lieutenant General did not discuss U.S. sanctions against Russia in calls with Russia late last year. Now, Flynn has since told the White House that sanctions may have come up. Trump, who comments on a steady stream of issues on his Twitter feed, has been conspicuously silent about the matter since the Washington Post reported last week that Flynn had discussed sanctions with the Russian envoy. A U.S. official told the Associated Press that Flynn was in frequent contact with Ambassador Sergei Kislyak, I guess it is, on the day the Obama administration slapped sanctions on Russia for election-related hacking, as well as at other times during the transition. Well, earlier today, White House counselor Kellyanne Conway said that Trump had full confidence in Flynn, though her assertions were not backed up by other senior Trump aides. Flynn sat in the front row of Trump's news conference with Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau earlier today, but the president did not receive a question about Flynn's future from a pair of reporters, and he ignored journalists who shouted follow-up inquiries as he left the room. Trump has told associates he is troubled by the situation, but he has not said whether he plans to ask Flynn to step down. According to a person who spoke with him recently, Flynn was a loyal Trump supporter during the campaign, but he is viewed skeptically by some in the administration's national security circles, in part because of his ties to Russia. Well, we'll see what happens. In 2015, Flynn was paid to attend a gala dinner for Russia Today, a Kremlin-backed television station, and sat next to Russian President Vladimir Putin during that event. Well, you know what? I don't know if he's being set up or if he's falling on the sword for everybody else. But you know what? It is what it is, and that's just the way it's going to remain, I guess. We could talk about Trump's presidency gets social with detailed posts and photos. There was President Donald Trump in the middle of his Mar-a-Lago resort conferring with Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe on decisions with national security implications over iceberg wedge salads. Now, the Florida club members snapped photos and posted them on Facebook with detailed narratives about what they were seeing. Holy moly, it was fascinating to watch the flurry of activity at dinner when the news came that North Korea had launched a missile in the direction of Japan. Richard Agazio, I guess it is, wrote on his public Facebook page, "Welcome to the social media presidency and all of the security and ethical challenges that it poses." Agazio also posed for a photo with a man whom he said carries the nuclear football for the president. He since deleted his account, but not before CNN and other news outlets wrote about what seemed to be an open-air situation room. Based on his and other social media accounts, Trump was conducting national security business in an area accessible to the public. Agazio did not respond to requests for comment from the Associated Press. Wow. Democrats quickly pointed to the security risks in the scene at Mar-a-Lago seemed to pose. Trump spent much of his campaign hammering opponent Hillary Clinton for her use of a private email server to conduct business while she was Secretary of State, something Trump said was not nearly secure enough. And here he is he's having top security public meetings. Kind of scary, huh? Yeah, I think so. Well, evacuees might not go home until the dam spillway is repaired. Yep, we're talking about California and Oroville. Nearly 200,000 people were ordered to leave their homes out of fear the spillway could collapse, may not be able to return until the barrier at the nation's tallest dam is going to be repaired, a sheriff said today. The sheriff of California's Butte County, Corey Honea, did not say how long the fixes could take and offered no timetable for lifting the evacuation order. Officials from the State Department of Water Resources were considering using helicopters to drop loads of rock on the eroded spillway at Lake Oroville, about 150 miles northeast of San Francisco. Meanwhile, the water level behind the dam dropped, easing slightly the fears of a catastrophic spillway collapse. But with more rain expected later this week, time was running short to fix the damage ahead of the storms. A day earlier, authorities ordered mass evacuations for everyone living below the lake out of concern that the spillway could fail and send 30-foot wall of water roaring downstream. Wow. Can you imagine? Nancy Borsdorf described a scene of chaos on her way out, including drivers abandoning cars as they ran out of gas. Wow. People are in a panic. Can't blame them. Can you imagine? 200 people being ordered out of their homes? Scary, scary thing. Well, travel ban risks alienating key partners in the fight against ISIS. American forces were perched high on the top of a vast mountain, calling in airstrikes that pounded Islamic State militants down below. Kurdish forces rolled past to recapture the ancient city of Sinjar. The December 2015 victory, it also regained control of the strategic roadway linking Iraq and Syria, was a testament to the critical partnership between the United States and Kurdish fighters in both Iraq and Syria. It's an alliance Obama administration officials and even some critics credit with helping diminish the militant group's aggressive land grab. Well, that's it for the news. We're going to take another short break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the IRS Loses. And the first case up here is banks need not turn over a company's funds. I'll explain that to you after these brief messages. Don't go away, folks.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful and visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make the interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, General Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
The story you are about to see is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. And at 3:23 p.m. Pacific time, currently 73 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. Now it's saying it's on its way down to 52 degrees. It was 50 degrees just a few minutes ago. Anyway, if you're listening to us on our globally syndicated network, worldwide network for that matter, it's globally and worldwide means the same thing, I guess. If you're in New York City listening to our show right now, it's 35 degrees and partly cloudy. And if you're in Chicago, Illinois, it's 43 degrees and partly cloudy. Both places is chilly, folks. That's all I got to say. But right now, let's talk about the news. Or not the news, I'm sorry. Let's talk about the IRS Loses. That's news too. In this case, banks need not turn over a company's funds. Here's the deal. The IRS said that a company marketed illegal tax shelters and sent it to a large bill for taxes and penalties. Now, this automatically created a lien against the company's property in favor of the IRS. The IRS then ordered several banks holding the company's funds to turn over the funds to the IRS. The banks protested, went to court. This is what the judge said. A lien gives the creditor, like the IRS, an interest in property to secure a claim. But here, the IRS had taken none of the legal steps necessary to go farther and take control of the property, either by seizure or by establishing a receivership for the company's assets. There was no legal foreclosure or final judgment, so the banks do not have to remit the funds. I can tell you one thing happened, though. The banks certainly froze those funds until they got a workout on this. So it makes it difficult. But you know what? The IRS doesn't care how difficult it is or how fair. How about this? The IRS loses. They cannot, or a judge cannot, be overruled without cause. Sounds strange, right? Here's the deal. The IRS said that an executive took $3 million of untaxed kickbacks. He said that the company or the money went to a corporation that properly paid tax on it. Now, the IRS replied that the corporation was a sham. The case was so complex, so the tax court sent in a very special trial judge to develop the facts and an opinion. The judge held for the executive on the basis of witnesses' testimony and facts that he found. But the tax court then dismissed the importance of the witnesses, read the facts differently, and ruled for the IRS anyhow. Well, they went to the Court of Appeals, and this is what the Court of Appeals said. The tax court must defer to a special trial judge, absent clear error by the latter. There was none. And so, the latter's opinion governs, and they're just out of luck, is the way it should be. Let me give you one more. The IRS loses. They did not meet the burden of proving unreported income. In this case, a lawyer reported receiving $138,783 of income over 2 years on which he owed back taxes. Now, the IRS examined his bank records, found $273,409 of deposits, said that $237,541 of them were income. They increased his tax bill as a result. So he went to court. This is what the judge said. The IRS has the burden of proving unreported income. But here, it didn't show how it decided which deposits were and which ones were not taxable, or how it had reduced taxable deposits by previously reported income, and ignored actual facts of which it was aware that affected the essential accuracy of each of those accounts of alleged total unreported income. So it hadn't met its burden, and the increase in income is dismissed. Yeah, the IRS just trying to take shortcuts. Yeah, shame on them. Well, you've heard me talk about being a fly on the wall when the IRS does stuff. That's where we're at in this segment we call Inside the IRS. It's very much like the Twilight Zone. Well, you know what? Now, these are not tax court cases, but these are, I tell you all the time that information is part of the most important commodity and valuable commodity that you have. And that's what we're talking about here. It's information, knowing how the IRS reacts to different things and what they've done in the past and all those kinds of things. And so here's the thing for you. Now, how about trusts that were created to evade income taxes? It's an important issue, The latest scheme, income-producing assets are transferred to a trust. The beneficiary of the trust then withdraws the funds from the trust in the form of a loan. No tax has to be paid on the income earned by the trust or on the funds withdrawn from it. After the IRS identifies the promoter of such trust schemes, it'll bring an action in federal court seeking the permanent injunction against the promoter from selling these kinds of trusts to other unsuspecting taxpayers. If the IRS finds the promoter continuing to sell the schemes after the permanent injunction is granted, it will ask the court to send the promoter to jail for contempt of court. So know that they're out there. The IRS doesn't like to be fooled with. Man, and I'm going to tell you, they take it seriously. How about this? The IRS whistleblower points the finger at IRS executives. You know what? An attorney currently employed by the IRS publicly expressed concerns about the way that the Office of Chief Counsel issued rulings related to synthetic fuel cases that favored the well-connected oil and gas industry. Now, he has made new claims about special access. Specifically, he claims that special access is granted to former IRS executives who currently work for large accounting and law firms. From my perspective, relationships created while working at the IRS, especially at the executive level, cannot hurt when it comes to representing the client, however. Here's the thing, though. In my experience, The best accommodation that can be expected is that your client's matter is not put on a back burner if a determination or a ruling is time sensitive. So it can help you time-wise. But that's about the best you're going to get from this. Now, we're going to be going on a short break, and when we come back, we'll be talking to Joe Hakos with our simulcast. We do our simulcast twice a week. We do it every Monday and every Friday. We talk about conservative politics and false news and all the stuff that's going on right now. And we sometimes do our best to just give you a different perspective so you know exactly what the heck is going on in this world. And besides that, I want to also ask you to go out and get our app. It's absolutely free. Just go to your app store, search Robert Cardoza Live. The app will pop up. It's free. Download it. You'll be able to listen to our show 24/7. All of our archive shows are there. And if we're broadcasting live like we are now, you'll be able to talk to us or chat with us while we're doing our show in the chat. What do you call that? Chat screen? Chat room or whatever it is, and you'll enjoy the show that much better. Anyway, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll be talking to Joe Hakos in the Conservative Syndicate. We'll be right back, folks.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. You know, nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, you know Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, coming to you from the basement of his strategic planning room located at his political hideaway in Los Angeles County, the dedicated man who stands and serves the political conscience of our nation, Mr. Jon Matthews.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 3:34 p.m. Pacific time, still 73 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. If you're listening to us on our globally syndicated network and you're in Paris, France, well, it's 39 degrees and it's clear. And if you're listening to us in Rome, Italy, it is 50 degrees and it is partly cloudy. Well, right now, I'm going to try and connect us to Joe Hakos for our simulcast, so just bear with me here a second. Let's see. He ought to be picking this up any second. There we go. It's going to ring, and we'll get Joe on there. We'll be talking to twice as many people. So let's get to him. Come on, Joe, pick up. Hey, Joe, you there?
Yeah, Bob, give me a minute.
Okay. We're...
All right, I'm going to bring on John here in just a second.
Okay.
Here we go.
And we got a lot of dead air going on here. So John must be having phone problems again. Whoops. Looks like we lost Joe. So let me try that again. We'll give it one more shot here.
Hey, Bob.
Yeah, we're here. Are we connected?
No. Let me try to get John now.
Okay.
Again.
Well, we're talking to Joe Hakos, and we're trying to get a hold of Jon Matthews for the Conservative Syndicate, where we do our semi-weekly simulcast. John ought to be on the horn here in just a second. And we're waiting. In the meantime, we got dead air going on here. This is not working very well, huh? Usually it's a little, you know what, I can guarantee that what's going on is John's having some technical problems over on his side of the thing. And let's see. Doesn't look like we're going to get John. So, what to do? Hey, Joe. And we're not going to get him, I don't think. Nope, we lost him. Okay, you know what we're going to do? We're just going to continue our show without Jon Matthews. And they're having some technical problems, and so let's see if I can't work on something else in the meantime. Let's try this. Okay, is that you, Joe? Are we on?
Tonight I'm going to have to fix.
Robert? I'm on.
Oh.
So I think what we need to do is to send John back to the Philippines, because you and I never had any problems while he was gone.
Yeah, well, it's a three-way thing, you know. What can you say? All right, my job's done here. Well, Bob, let's get right into it here so I can minimize the amount of time I'm going to spend in post-editing tonight. We were talking at the beginning of the show here. You're local. You're out here. You're just down the street from me. The situation up north with the dam.
Oh, man.
about that? What are you picking up about it?
Well, it's a horrible thing, and I'm not sure I understand why the civil engineers didn't know that there was something wrong before this sinkhole went in there. But 200,000 people being mandatorily evacuated from their homes, the danger that's sitting in there, and all the water that's going on. It's a scary thing when you think about it being the tallest dam in the United States. If that thing were to fail, it would be a 30-foot wall of water coming down in that community. It'd be over.
Oh, I was watching a report on it. I was telling Joe at the beginning of the show here. I was watching a report out here on KCAL, and they have people up there interviewing, and the nonchalance that's being exhibited by not only residents that live up there, but officials that are kind of like, just kind of playing off. Don't worry about it. We got it under control. And one of the things that came to light talking to one of the officials up there was that they've known about this problem since 2012.
You know what? That's even worse. That's even worse, John, because doesn't this sound an awful lot like Katrina at New Orleans? They knew about it, everything break. Oh, don't worry about it. Everything's going to be fine. And people lost lives there.
Yeah, it's worse than that. Katrina, you had 5 or 6 days to know about it.
Yeah.
Sounds like you've had 4 years to know about it the other way.
You know what? There's no excuse for that, Joe. I mean, none whatsoever. Somebody is just passing the buck. They don't want to take responsibility for what's going on. And again, the public trust has been violated.
Well, see, things that we have to note about this type of situation is we're sitting here looking at, we just passed a bond measure here, just in the last election, a bond measure to raise more money to do what? To be able to shore up our water storage capabilities. But the reason, apparently, this official was alluding to the fact that the reason why it's kind of been put on the back burner is because we've had a drought.
You know what? How dumb is that? We've had a drought. The water levels were low. That would have been the perfect time to repair this thing. It reduced value dollars. It would have made a heck of a lot more sense. But no, our Governor Moonbeam out there, has got his head stuck up where his prostate problem's at, and that's why we're having the problem that we're having now. Not that I have an opinion about it.
And that was my thought exactly. It's like, well, you would think the perfect time to do your construction, hey, let's take all these billions of dollars that are being dumped into building carpool lanes on our freeways out here that are going nowhere that nobody's using. Let's use that money and let's do some damage control out there. Where we got what'd you say, the largest dam or the highest wall in the United States that's higher than Hoover?
Yeah. It is the highest dam in the United States. This is unconscionable that we would put 200,000 people in harm's way just because we're too damned lazy to do what we should have done in the first place. At a time that would have been easier. At a time that would have been easier when the dam wasn't overflowing with water.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. But then we got Democrats running the show out here. We don't do things by common sense. One of the things that I think the elephant in the room that nobody ever wants to talk about when we talk about California infrastructure is where the money goes from all these bond measures and everything else. We talk about bond measures for children, schools. We need more teachers. We need more books, and it's all about the kids. We need more schools and this, that, and the other. And we find out that every single bond measure, the money ends up showing up teacher pension funds. We've got more teachers on pensions out here than we've got in the classroom. Yeah. And so, and the money's being diverted. They've added all these amendments out here that allows them to take money out of the general fund and jiggle the books. And so Jerry Brown's out here touting all the time that we're a state with a surplus. Well, if we have a surplus, why are we now standing here asking Donald Trump to give us money? Yeah. He wants FEMA here. Yeah, let's bring the most disorganized agency in the United States, FEMA. Let's bring them into the picture and see what they can screw up while they're out here. But it leads to the bigger picture. I was talking earlier last week about the rancor that's going on. Donald Trump made a comment on Bill O'Reilly's show about California being out of control. And it turns out Assembly Speaker Anthony Rendon, Democrat from Paramount, which, by the way, is like 10 minutes away from where I live here. He's just down the street. He was saying, if this would Donald, referring to California.
Did we lose you, John? Joe?
Huh?
Did we lose John?
Yeah. I'm here.
Oh, okay. All of a sudden, it went quiet.
Okay. What I'm saying here is that Assembly Speaker Anthony Rendon out of Paramount said that if everything, California's massive economy and strong job growth, that if this is what Donald Trump thinks is out of control, I suggest other states should be more like us. So California's supposed to be the model for the rest of the country, I guess. And here we are, not less than a week later, out there, Jerry Brown's asking Trump for money to shore up this. We got an emergency here. We don't have the money to pay for it.
Yeah, what is he doing with the surplus? Because it's not getting to the schools.
No, it's going to the pensions.
Well, but you know what, John? Here's the thing. It's not just going to teachers' pensions. It's going to first responder pensions as well. You know that police officers and firemen, not so much teachers, but police officers and firemen, they retire at 107, 108, 110% of their actual wages.
Oh, yeah, and then you've got the state workers on top of that.
Yeah.
So you've got teachers doing 10 years in the education system drawing your pension. You've got your public service servants out there, the fire people, the police people. You've got the state workers. State workers out here get paid enormously well for doing what? Picking up and putting down orange cones on the road.
Yeah.
And I've yet to see, I don't know how many times I'm driving down the street these days, and you see all these cones out and the lane's blocked, and there's nobody there. It's like, what's going on here? Where are the workers?
Yeah. Yeah. It's just,
anyway, hey, we got to go to our break here. It's time for a break.
Okay.
And we'll be.
You know what? I'm gonna stay with you on the break. We're gonna just use your commercials in my place. That way we don't take a chance of losing you. How's that sound?
That sounds like a plan. Okay. We'll be right back. Stay with us right here at the Conservative Syndicate.
Well, you know what? We're not going to stay with them here because we can't hear anything. We're gonna take a break and we're gonna get right on back to the.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful and visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios, Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're going to try and reconnect with Jon Matthews right now. Let's see if that works.
Crete Dam.
Hey, I can't believe it. We're back.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, but let's let Joe. Joe was right in the middle of some thought here. Go ahead, Joe.
Well, it's not a concrete dam like the Hoover Dam or something like that. You know, they're in Vegas. This is an earthen dam. Yes, it's the tallest earthen dam in the country. And so you can't have water rushing across the face of the dam because it's going to erode it. And these geniuses know that there's this hole there, and it seems to not to be so much of a dent in your car as they described it on Friday. It seems to be a bigger problem now. Well, the problem is now their solution is to try to fill up the hole with boulders that are going to drop from helicopters.
Yeah. But the spillway that you're talking about there, Joe, is a concrete shelf that was undermined by a sinkhole. That was concrete in there. Now the emergency spillway, you're right, is actually earthen, and it's going to erode. They can't have that kind of water. Can you imagine the power of that water coming out of there?
Yeah, exactly. So you can't have this water going down there. And I watched them Friday. I watched the video Friday, and you had the expert from the state, the spokesman, go, it's just like a dent in your car. It doesn't look good, but the car still runs. And I'm like looking at it as the trees are being blasted away and stuff on the side.
How would you like to be one of the 200,000 people at the bottom of that thing?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I was listening to one official explain the water, the intensity or the amount of water that's coming in there, 130,000 cubic feet per second.
You know, John, think about this. You've been to the beach, the good old blue Pacific. You ever stand there as the waves hit you in the knees, the power of just the small waves that hit you, what it does to you? Can you imagine the power behind that dam?
Well, this sound from watching videos. I was watching videos as this report was going on here, and I was thinking this makes a tsunami look like a high tide.
Yeah, it does.
And the intensity of the water, tsunamis come in, massive water, but not with the whether you would call it the amount of power. You're talking about centralized, like pouring water through a funnel. You pour water into a funnel, it's coming out much faster than it's going in.
Oh, yeah.
And they were saying 130,000 cubic square feet per second. And there was another 30,000 cubic square feet coming in. As the water's exiting, it's coming in. It's being refilled.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God! I mean, you imagine what's going to happen. 200,000 residents. Wonder if that thing really busts and just wipes. I mean, now what's going to happen? Now we're going to have all the rhetoric about whose fault it was.
Well, yeah, but John, of course, forget about whose fault it was. Here's the thing: they are already at capacity, which is why they're having to use the spillway, and they're expecting another major storm at the end of this week. What the heck are they going to do?
Yeah. And
they're trying to lower that thing 50 feet. They're trying to lower the level on that lake to 50 feet from where it is now, 50 feet lower.
You know what? That's not gonna. It's just not gonna happen. And by pouring all those rocks and things into that sinkhole, you know what? That's not gonna cut it. It at least it'll help fill it a little bit. They are going to have to not only use the emergency spillway, they're going to have to start putting more water down the regular exit for the spillway, because otherwise, when this storm hits, 50 feet isn't going to do it.
No. Again, I like your early comparison with the
Did we lose you again, John?
It's just,
John, you're breaking up.
it's going to make like, oh, okay. It's going to make that look like a walk in the park.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. So, wow, that's funny. We're breaking up here. Yeah, Joe had the same thing. I'm not seeing anything on my side that indicates that I'm not coming across totally. But, then again, what do I know? What do I know? Obviously, technology is not my strong suit, obviously.
Well, and I always thought that you were the last word on technology. I always thought that you were the guy, the go-to guy for technology, John.
Oh, I'm great at telling you what's wrong. I'm really bad at telling you how to fix it.
Speaking of fixing it, and I know we only have a very short time. I want to shift a little bit from Oroville and ask you, what do you think is going to happen with this North Korea United States issue in Japan right now?
Oh, that side of the world right now, I have to be totally honest and tell you, I haven't been paying a whole lot of attention to that. Have you, Joe?
Not really. I just think it's going to be more of the same.
Oh, I think we're on the brink of war. I think we're headed toward one.
China just doing their thing again. Because the Chinese are driving all this.
Well, if the Chinese don't do something about North Korea, I think that we're on the brink of war. Things are getting scary out there.
Well, yeah, I agree, but I would look at it, what's building up over in the China Sea between the Philippines and China is another thing that's really getting to be a hot issue here. So you have all the, all the volatility over there with China just kind of thinking they can do whatever they want to now. And I'm not.
Oh, we lost him again. John, we lost you again, buddy. Okay, Joe, can you hear me?
I hear you fine.
Okay, you know what, Joe? It's about time for us to go anyway. Tell John that I said I'm going because it's time for us to go in any event, and I've got to get back on my schedule, and I'm pretty sure that you're going to probably have to pick up the show because he's having some difficulties.
Yeah, that's okay. It's Monday. It's what happens on Mondays.
Yeah, all right. Hey, you know what? Have a great week and take care of yourself. If you have loved ones, don't forget tomorrow's Valentine's Day, and we'll talk to you on Friday, Joe.
All right, big hugs from here, Bob.
All right, you take care. And the rest of you folks, stay tuned, because when we come back, we're going to be with Jon Hansen at the Little Old Wine Drinker after these brief messages. So don't go away. We'll be right back.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. Nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchase high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
When they ask who's a fool in the corner crying, I say, a little old wine drink of me.
And now, from the middle of a vineyard somewhere, a man who's never met a grape he couldn't cuddle up to, our resident advanced sommelier, John Hansen.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 4 p.m. Pacific time. It's currently 73 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. It's on its way down to 52 degrees. If you're listening to us on our globally syndicated network and you're in London, England, it's 41 degrees and it's clear. And if you're in Vienna, Austria, listening to our show, it is 30 degrees and clear. But I'll tell you what, there are no clouds hanging over the head of my good buddy, that little old wine drinker, John Hansen. Hey, John, you're on the air, bud.
Hey, buddy, how you doing?
I'm doing good. You know what? I was saddened yesterday. I sent you, I didn't know if you had gotten the email or not, so I sent you a copy of the email that I got from Bruno with pictures of the devastation of the Anaheim White House, Bruno Serrato. God, it was just disheartening, you know?
You know, to actually see the fire itself, I mean, the blaze was amazing.
Yeah.
They did find out it was an electrical problem.
Right.
And I'm glad you mentioned that because there is a GoFundMe page for the Anaheim White House. I believe they need about $125 more thousand dollars to go in the next 5 days. So, I mean, go to GoFundMe.com, bring up the Anaheim White House. If you ever met Bruno or ever dined there and enjoyed it, I mean, everybody wants to bring it back. I mean,
so John, have you talked to anybody out there? Are they going to try and bring it back the way it was? You know, it was such a beautiful place, but
I believe so. I believe so. They're trying to bring it back. You know, they established a kitchen for Bruno. Bruno, of course, feeds over 2,000 underprivileged children each day. So there is a hotel that has set up a kitchen for him for low-income families that he feeds. So at least so he can do his little charity event that is going on. But I mean, it was such an establishment. It was built in 1909. It was a colonial style mansion that they turned into this incredible restaurant. And Bruno has actually been there. He has owned the place since 1987. So he's been there basically 30 years of his life. He's been there, and they have seen stars. Jimmy Carter has eaten there. Under Bocelli, the opera singer, Gwen Stefani, you know, the performer, President George Bush. We can go on and on and on how many celebrities has actually been there. You walk down by the bar and it's just filled with pictures of celebrities that have been to the White House. And it's just an amazing property. And the people there, they were just a phenomenal crew. And as I said, I talked to Franco the day after it happened, and he was just devastated. And we saw Bruno on TV where he was devastated. He was in tears, you know, and he couldn't even talk. And all that came out of his mouth is, "I just want to feed the kids." You know? It was just devastating. It was heart-wrenching.
So let me ask you, I'm guessing that this the GoFunding thing is to help him feed the kids. He must have insurance on that place, right?
Well, he has insurance, but I don't know to what extent. I haven't been able to talk to Bruno, and I actually left a message with Franco today. I was kind of hoping that maybe he could actually join us on the show and give us a little more information on what Bruno is heading to do. I'm assuming they're going to rebuild it. But I haven't got the word on it. And I left the message, so Franco will call me back.
Yeah, my guess is they're going to rebuild it because Bruno is actually saying it's going to be somewhere around 8 to 10 months that they're going to be down. So I'm guessing that they're going to start rebuilding right away. A little bit of a surprise that they can actually get it done that quickly.
Yeah, I'm assuming. And I said, I talked to Franco, and when he talked to Bruno, it seemed like that they were going to rebuild it, and he said minimal. I mean, if it went quickly, he's going to be out 6 or 7 months of work. So he's forced to look for another job. And I'm sure the entire crew there is forced to look for another job, with the exception of Bruno.
Sure.
Serrano, all those guys that we know very well, I mean, they just can't not go without work for, 7-10 months until it opens again. So at least find something temporarily until it does open again. As I said, I did reach out to Franco today. I left him a message. I was hoping he would get back to me before the show. And maybe we could have had him on the show, and I'm sure he has a little more insight what's going on. He has talked to Bruno, and I told him if I find anything that pops up, I would give him a call and let him know at least where he can find temporary employment.
Oh yeah.
Sure, it's going to be how construction goes, Bob. It's probably going to be about a year before that opens up again.
I would think so too, John. What a horrible shame, especially since you and I have an affinity to it. We feel like part of the Anaheim White House family. It's just. We know everybody there. This is just so sad for everyone. I'm sitting here and I remember, when I was in practice, I used to always encourage my businesses to get what they call business interruption insurance besides their liability and their repair stuff. But it's kind of expensive. And if Bruno had that, then everybody would be paid while this was going on. But I doubt it.
Well, yeah, as you said, it is expensive. It's kind of like earthquake insurance. It's going to come, but when? It could be 20 years, and you want to pay for it for the next 20 years before it happens. It's rolling the dice, and the people that were close to Bruno, I'm sure when he does reopen, they will come back.
Oh, sure.
But I mean, gosh, it is devastating, and the whole crew, and they were just a good team there, and it's sad. And it was funny, as we were talking, our other restaurant we kind of fell in love with that we found closed as well. The
Bistro Blue?
Blue, yeah.
I can't believe it. What the heck? I mean, you know what? Getting off. Let's go there for a minute because it's so sad to hear about the Anaheim White House. But Bistro Blue, was very different, but very much like the Anaheim White House in that it wasn't a place that. It was a place you almost had to know was there because it wasn't right in the middle of everything where you just see it driving by, And the Bistro Blue was the same thing, but they had magnificent food. I just don't get it.
Well, I would say it was probably the worst location you could possibly put a restaurant.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, where will be one place you wouldn't want a restaurant, and that's where the Bistro Blue was. I mean, it was crazy. It was like in the strip center in the back of a fast food place where, I mean, you would never know unless you accidentally walked in there because they didn't advertise. They didn't do anything unless word of mouth or you just accidentally stumbled upon it. You would never found this place that was authentic French food that was delicious.
Oh, yeah.
And the price was so reasonable. What you get for the price was like the foie gras dish. And it was funny because, Raina, one of her favorite dishes is foie gras. She can have foie gras every day. She just loves it. And we're used to paying $100 for the foie gras. Yeah. And we go in there and she goes, can I get foie gras to go? And the girl goes, no, it's going to be $30.
Can I get 3 of those?
Yeah. paying 130. Okay, that's great. You know, and the portion is probably bigger than what you pay for $100. It was crazy. The portions, the size, and the food was just amazing. And I just couldn't understand why the chef wouldn't come out and talk to the people that were coming in consistently and advertise. I mean, somehow advertise that place.
Yeah.
Or and this is what I'm hoping, Bob, that he did find another location that would be a little better access.
But you know what the shame is? The shame is that they didn't get contact information from their regular patrons, because then if they'd have reopened, then it would just have been a matter of saying, hey, we moved to this place, or at least put a sign on the door saying, hey, we've moved. You can enjoy the Bistro Blue now at this new location. But now that's pretty much gone.
You know, it's funny, Bob, because that was the first thing one at Cala where I met you.
Mm-hmm.
I had a book with all our with their names, their address, their information, their email, phone numbers, address, all that stuff. Where if I'm going to do a certain function, I would send it out.
Yeah.
Especially when we started doing the winemakers dinners, everybody get a nice little invitation. But when we did close down, I still had that information in case I did open my own restaurant. I knew all these people would come and see me, and I don't understand.
But John, a lot of, not just me, a lot of your friends that became your friends because of Cala, they followed you to a number of different restaurants you went to because of their loyalty to you.
They followed me to Riverside, to L.A., back to Anaheim.
Yeah.
Here. I mean, they followed me to all ends of Orange County and Riverside and L.A. County. So, it is amazing how people do. They will follow you. They will come. If you build it, they will come, Bob.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? And that says a lot about you. But, you know, the thing is I'm just guessing, that Bistro Blue was underfunded, and they just didn't make it because of their location, and that they didn't have the money to reopen anywhere else. Otherwise, they'd have put signs out there if they were reopening, I would think.
You would think, as I said, we lost Ways and Means, but they opened up Southern Orange County, and they're doing okay. They're doing very well, We do need to go down there one day and surprise the chef and so forth. Hey, we finally got back to you. You moved a little ways away from us, but they're still doing a thing. They found it's probably a better location, a little more South Orange County. But they did put, signs up. They did put, people who I still get emails every week from them.
Mm-hmm.
They did take our information. They stayed in touch with us, We've had the chef on the show. We've had the owner on the show, and they appreciate our support. And when they did move, they promised that when they did reopen, they let us know, and they did. And there's still people going down there. I mean, as I say, especially for you, it is quite a drive because it's South Orange County.
Yeah.
Not Orange County, for you, it's quite the drive. But we should take a day and go down there and just, say hi to them again.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what?
Monday would be a good day for that $9.99 lobster tail.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to wait until tax season is over. But then I'll take the day off and we'll do an archive show, and you and I'll go out there and reconnect.
That'd be great. That'd be great. Maybe we can do a show from there because as I said, we've had the owner, we've had the chef on, we've had we've done a lot of stuff down at Ways and Means, and as I said, they're a little farther away for us to go because time restricts you. You have to get back to do the show. To have a nice lunch now because of the nice traffic we have here in Southern California.
You mean those organized parking lots that you have to travail?
Yeah, that you sit in for 3 hours.
Yeah. Well, we're going to have to. The Ways and Means is going to be an exception, but we're going to have to find a replacement for the next year for the Anaheim White House.
I may have a spot. Somebody told me about a place. Used to be the old Scott's Seafood out there by South Coast Plaza, and they were so impressed with it. I mean, they said the food was amazing, and the management was incredible. They came out, and I think one of the dishes it was warm but not hot, and they just took it off the menu, and they asked them to come back and please try it again. They've only been open for about a month, but a good friend of mine that are foodies, they said that it was amazing, and that we had to try it. So we haven't been there yet, but maybe we should go for a little lunch and check it out.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we can, and we can always run an archive show and then go in there and record a segment with them, that we can play on a later date, and that would be an easy thing to do.
Absolutely. Well,
holy mackerel! I'm not even paying attention to what's going on here. We got 4 minutes. We got 4 minutes? Yeah.
Well, I mean, I wanted to start the show and say Happy Valentine's Day Eve, but
I've been warning everybody, and I'm going to warn you too, because you've got a lovely lady attached to your elbow. That tomorrow is Valentine's Day, and if you want to be happy for the rest of your life, don't forget your wife on Valentine's Day.
Well, we're going to actually do something tonight, because she was actually off today. Well, not really, but she didn't have to go in. She just did work.
Is she playing hooky, John?
Well, I guess they were doing I guess it's strange, because some schools are off this Monday and some schools are off next Monday.
Yeah, Joey's off next Monday.
Yeah, next Monday. So Avery's off next Monday as well. But Raina, I guess she was off. Well, as I said, she's not really off, but she didn't have to go into school. She's just doing the work that she has to catch up on at home here.
Mm-hmm.
So we're probably going to do a nice little Valentine's Day dinner. Well, I better not say that on the air because somebody may be listening.
Yeah.
But, I know your lovely wife, she's kind of superstitious and she doesn't listen to your show.
No, she doesn't listen to my show. And I am taking her out for a nice dinner tomorrow night. We're going to go to what's turned out to be a favorite place of ours. It's called Spoggy's. You and I have eaten there. And Henry is still...
Yes.
And they make just phenomenal food in that place. They don't have anything but a wine bar, but they make wine cocktails that taste just like regular cocktails. On the other hand, I'm probably just going to have wine, but they make. It's just a fantastic restaurant. But you know what? One of these days, we need to have you and Raina over to Casa Cardoza for another evening, and we'll pick. We'll pick something super special.
We do. And honestly, I think that was probably the last time we had lunch together was at Spoggy's.
You know what? I think so, because remember we were handling a business issue for you, and you were kind enough to bring me back and buy me lunch, and we bought it and you did it at Spoggy's.
Well, since I had to trap you all the way out to Barstow, yeah, I figured.
Actually, the last time I think we were at the. Did we eat at the Anaheim warehouse? Did we went to the Anaheim White House for your mother-in-law's birthday? When was that?
Yeah, you're right. That was kind of like a brunch. Yeah, you're right. We did like a brunch thing there, I think, and then we took her to Disneyland. So, well, I guess you can say actually the last lunch we had was. Yeah. But the last brunch we had was at the White House. But, that was the least I could do. I felt so bad because we couldn't even have breakfast. Now, this is funny. I mean, you go out to have breakfast and they don't open to 10 o'clock. How many people eat breakfast after 10 o'clock? Unless it be like a brunch.
I get up around 5 o'clock in the morning. By 10 o'clock, I'm not waiting 5 hours to eat.
Well, I would think breakfast is more like 5:30 to 10.
Yeah.
And then after, maybe like the 10, 11 is kind of like a brunch thing. Yeah. And then by 11:30, it's lunch, So I don't know how it's strictly a breakfast place. They didn't open to 10, how much business they were actually assuming to get out there. But then I guess Barstow is definitely a different...
I mean, yeah, that place was shut down on a weekday. I don't know. And how far did we have to? We were either going to have to go to Las Vegas for brunch, or we were going to, do something like that. Anyway, John, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, let's talk some more about food and wine. How's that?
Sounds good.
All right, we'll be right back with our little old wine drinker, John Hansen.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful and visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39. A complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 4:22 p.m. Pacific time. It's still 73 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. It's on its way down to 51 degrees. And if you're listening to us on our globally syndicated network and you're in Madrid, Spain, well, it's 48 degrees and it's clear. And if you're in Tokyo, Japan, it is 39 degrees and it is clear. And right now, we're talking to our little old wine drinker, my good buddy, Jon Hansen. Hey, John, you're on the mic, bud.
Thanks, Bob. It was funny because I do a little research and so far, especially for the show and also on Wine Spectator. And since Valentine's Day is tomorrow, and they had a special little brief about those who want to stay home and do a nice romantic dinner for their loved one. And it just reminded me of you because what they suggested was a recipe courtesy of Charlie Palmer. It was his breasted duck with citrus couscous. And the wine they suggested, Bob, was a Chateauneuf de Pape.
Oh, really?
Oh, my God. Did they go over to Casa Cardoza or get this or what?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that sounds like a menu I would develop.
Oh, and it's funny because I did get down there for those who wanted to do a nice little duck dinner at home. The recipe, it calls for 4 boneless duck breasts. Okay, 6 to 8 ounces each. 1 tablespoon of canola oil. The grated zest off of 1 lemon.
Hey, John. Hey, John. Yeah. If they're gonna get 4 boneless duck breasts, I guess they should invite you and me to come over too, huh?
Well, I guess they're only 6 ounces each. So once you want leftovers for later on.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know. But you have a little, let's say, a half teaspoon of ground juniper berries. You have a quarter teaspoon of pepper, 3 teaspoons of chartreuse. Now, how many people have chartreuse at home? I don't know, but you may have some chartreuse at home, Bob. Do you?
You know what? I have Chambord, but I don't have chartreuse. I don't think.
Well, chartreuse is. I mean, it's a French, say an herbal liqueur. They have yellow and green, and it's probably one of the god awfulest liqueurs I ever had. But I think you have to be French to enjoy it because it is horrible. But I can see it where it's in a background of something like a sauce or something like that.
Yeah.
They want you to grate a little juice from 1 small orange as well, so the juice and the zest from the small orange. A quarter cup or half stick of unsalted butter at room temperature. 3/4 cup of heavy cream, and a tablespoon of chopped fresh chives.
Wow. You know, that actually sounds pretty doggone good.
It is, and you can go on winespectator.com and get the recipes on the Valentine's Day special. For the couscous, you have 1 shallot, firmly chopped. You have 2.5 cups of chicken stock, or you can do a can of non-fat, low-sodium chicken stock or broth if you're kind of into that. If you want to be a little healthy, but hey, if it's Valentine's Day, put the whole butter, put everything in. Don't worry about it.
You know what, John? Here's the deal. All these guys say use no sodium or low sodium chicken stocks and these different things. Truth is, you're going to add salt and pepper to all of your recipes anyway. That's just that much less that you're going to put in. I've never seen it where if you use a sodium a stock that it's ever had so much sodium that it altered the recipe any.
Yeah, as I say, if you're going to cook, especially for Valentine's Day, hey, I can see if you're on the diet and everything, but for a special occasion, go all out. And I see people dining. They go to a nice restaurant and it just doesn't work. Just order what the chef does.
Absolutely.
One night isn't going to kill you to enjoy yourself. It's my birthday. They brought me here. I can only eat this and that. Enjoy yourself tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what a waste. What a waste. If you're going to go to a fine restaurant and then you're going to start telling them what to do to ruin it.
Yeah, and they want just a broiled piece of chicken. I mean, why? If you want tasteless food, why are you coming here and spending this much money for it?
Yeah.
Because it's your birthday. If it's your birthday, celebrate and enjoy it. It's one day. It's not gonna change your weight for one meal. I mean, it's portioned out nice. You're not gonna see that much of a difference. Break your diet for one day and then go back and hey, run an extra mile or something the next day if that makes you feel better.
My grandson Joey was here last week, and he requested duck. And usually, I do an orange sauce or something like that over. This time I decided to change it, and I did a boysenberry sauce, and I put it over that duck. Man, it was just fantastic. It was wonderful.
I know Joey loves lamb. You got to do that boysenberry sauce with the lamb. He's going to be in heaven.
Oh, yeah? Oh, I'll try that then.
Oh yes, absolutely. Well, Bob, another restaurant we like to...
Did you go to Michael's last week?
No, I didn't. We went to... the Silverell Steakhouse and Dalvito's. We were only there for 2 days because we had to spend Friday night to finish that place in Victorville, and then we got out there late Friday night, so we just got something light, and then just fell asleep, and then Saturday and Sunday we went to Dalvito's and Silverell Steakhouse, so we didn't get to go to Michael's. which was fine because Sunday we weren't even hungry because we were eating and drinking all day at the Super Bowl party. So I wouldn't want to waste it at Michael's where I wasn't even hungry, and to go to Michael's when you're not hungry, it's not worth it. So
yeah, that's for sure. I got to tell you what, talking about that was the best Super Bowl game I think I have ever seen.
I didn't like the turnout, but yeah, it was great.
Well, my team won, so I was okay.
So you're happy with it?
Yeah, my team won. I was okay.
Well, actually, I did. It's funny because I couldn't believe the spread was only 3, and so I had to put the money on the Patriots. But they just, Rand's a big Steelers fan. They won 6 Super Bowls, so anybody that's getting close to them, she starts worrying about. So the Patriots can't win next year because then they'll tie the Steelers with 6. So she was okay, I guess, letting them win this one. But
well, I'm guessing Brady is going to retire. I mean, he's 39 years old, right?
He still thinks he can play another 3-4 years.
Oh, you got to be kidding! You know what? He's at the top of his game. He doesn't need the money. He's still relatively healthy. I'm thinking, boy, this is the time to get the hell out of there.
It would be smart. Just like John Elway, just like Peyton Manning.
Yep.
They went out, they win the Super Bowl, and they retire.
Yeah.
Brady thinks he can come back and win it again. And looking at the odds, they are favorite. They're 6-1 favorite to win the Super Bowl again next year. So,
Well, you know what? Atlanta was all over Brady. The first 3 quarters, I mean, holy mackerel, they were just all over this guy. He couldn't get in the air. The minute his blockers started working for him, man, he just made hay.
Well, and the thing was that the game was over. The Falcons were in field goal range. All they had to do was kick a field goal.
Yep.
And they threw a pass that got a penalty,
yep.
And then he went back and got sacked, and they were out of field goal range.
Yep.
All they had to do was run a couple of plays, take time off the clock, kick the field goal, and there would only been like a minute something left, and New England had to score twice, not once.
Yeah.
And it was just stupid because they took themselves out of field goal range and gave New England back the ball with close to 2 minutes left, and they came down and scored in 2 minutes. And that was the game.
Yep.
He tied it and went into overtime. And after that, they were all deflated, and everybody knew New England was going to win it now. I mean, all their momentum shifted to New England. Atlanta was just deflated, and they had it won. They were in field goal range.
Yep.
All you had to do was just hand the ball off a couple of times, take more time off the clock, let New England use your timeouts, and then kick a field goal. And there was no way New England was going to score twice in a minute and something to go.
Well, everybody I knew wanted Atlanta to win except me. You know what? I wanted New England to win. The interesting thing is that Marlene is not a Tom Brady fan, and of course we're not big sports people anyway. But we watched the championship games, all of them, and she was just really giving me the eye the first 3 quarters, and then she got ticked off at me, man, when New England came back.
Well, a lot of people got ticked off when New England came back. They did a survey, and I guess I think it was the Raiders, but now New England is the most hated team in the NFL. So they said that it was like 80% of the people wanted the Patriots to lose, but out of that 80%, there was only 1% that was actually Falcon fans. The other 79% were people that just hated the Patriots. Crazy.
You know what? Yeah, it's just unbelievable. Hey, so listen, wine pick of the week. Now, we still got 4 minutes, but I don't want to get too far beyond this thing. I mean, you hit me. You know what? The next time you come over, I'm going to let you call the menu. I'll make whatever you want. But if you'd like to have lamb with a boysenberry sauce, I'll do that.
Oh, I tell you that. If Joey, I tell you,
you want the rack or you want chops?
He's going to be in heaven once he tries a boysenberry sauce or a huckleberry sauce with lamb. It is just unbelievable.
So, are you doing that with a rack or with chops?
You know what would even be more enticing is actually like a braised shoulder or maybe a lamb shank that's braised for a while with like a huckleberry or boysenberry sauce, like a nice reduction there. or a black raspberry reduction, Joey will be in heaven. He'll be in heaven then.
Serve it over risotto.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Little truffle and everything.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome. But I tell you, we're going to dedicate this wine pick of the week to our good friend Franco. Since it is Valentine's Day, got to have wine, but of course the wine will be champagne, bubbling with your significant other. And let's go to his hometown. Let's do a Franciacorta, sparkling Italian wine from Italy with Valentine's Day tonight. We are going Italian tonight. We're doing a special little restaurant in the Circle. Can't say it because somebody may be listening, but we're definitely going to do a little bottle of Franciacorta to celebrate. And for our good friend Franco, who, with Bruno's right-hand man, he's there much more than Bruno is. Bruno's, out there doing shows, doing everything. And Franco's running that restaurant, and he is the sommelier there. And I tell you, we talk about Prosecco and so forth when we were in Italy, but I'll tell you, I'll take a Franciacorta over Prosecco any day. So if you're out at an Italian restaurant and you're having a Valentine's Day dinner with your loved one, order a bottle of Franciacorta, and Franco will be happy about that, I guarantee it.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? Let's talk about Franco for a minute or so. I'm thinking that, when the Anaheim White House opens up, Franco's going to go back. Isn't that going to make it pretty difficult for him to find something temporarily?
Well, as I said, he was going for the top end of the Italian sommelier, kind of like a master in the Italian sommelier field there. He definitely has the knowledge. There is a lot of Italian restaurants that could be looking for somebody to handle the wine program, even if it is maybe I'm hoping he can find something where he can be in charge and change it and train somebody.
Yeah.
And have them pay him well for like 6 months, 7 months. And have them change your wine program there, and then get that wine program going. And then once the White House opens again, he can just transfer back over.
Yeah, or you know what? Or he may find a place that he just falls in love with and stays.
It could be, yeah, which would be sad for Bruno because, as I said, Franco, he was there. He was working 10-hour days there.
Oh yeah, he ran that place.
He was there 6 days a week. To find somebody that's that dedicated is very hard. You know what?
And talking about that, and we only got about 15 seconds left, but in the Anaheim White House, like you're saying, the chefs got to find new jobs. The waiters got to find new jobs. The busboys got to find new jobs. Everybody has to find new jobs. It's going to be tough for Bruno to reopen.
Yeah, because as I said, they got to go somewhere. And I said, the ideal thing is for especially like Franco, to find a place where they're going to pay him handsomely for like 6 months to turn around their wine program and to teach the staff. We want you to come aboard for 6 months. We'll give you this much money to redo our wine list, train the staff, teach them all about these Italian wines, and to train somebody to keep it going when you leave. That would be the ideal job if there's one out there for Franco where he can do that and where it's almost perfect timing where he parts way with that restaurant and then reopen the Anaheim White House again. That'd be an ideal job if he can find something out there for that.
Well, you know what? On opening night, you and I and Raina and Marlene have to be there.
Oh, we will. Maybe we should do a show from there.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, my friend. Hey, you go out, have a great day. Have a wonderful evening tonight. Give a hug and kiss to your Valentine for me, please.
Hey, you do the same for me.
All right. And you take care. We'll talk to you next Monday.
Sounds good, bud.
All righty. And the rest of you folks, stick around. When we come back, we'll be talking about the birthdays for the day, the secret daily teaching for your life, and the interesting but useless facts. We'll be right back after these brief messages. Don't go away.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this. The Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. You know, nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, you know Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 4:41 p.m. Pacific time. It's currently 71 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. Now it's saying it's on its way down to 49 degrees, so it's going to get even colder. But if you're listening to us on our globally syndicated network and you're in Sydney, Australia, well, it's 64 degrees and it is raining right now. If you're in Auckland, New Zealand, it's 64 degrees. And it's overcast. But right now, what I want to talk to you about is the secret daily teaching for your life. This is all about a positive mental attitude. You hear me talk about it all the time. And the reason I talk about it all the time is I just trying to convince you that you control your own life. Nobody else does. You're not the subject of anybody else's wishes. It's your own. You decide what's going to happen. You decide if you're going to be rich or poor, happy or sad, a success or a failure. You decide all those things. You even decide how people around you are going to be feeling. It's really up to you. Now, you know what? You do that every morning when you get up and you look in the mirror and you say, wow, I'm going to have a fantastic, productive, profitable day today, and I'm going to make everybody around me happy. That's exactly what you do, and you make that your day. Now, our teaching for today is remember that your thoughts are the primary cause of everything. So when you think a sustained thought, it is immediately sent out into the universe. Now, that thought magnetically attaches itself to the like frequency, and then within seconds sends the reading of that frequency back to you through your feelings. Now, put another way, your feelings are communication back to you from the universe, telling you what frequency you are currently on. Your feelings are your frequency feedback mechanism. You decide. I don't know what else to tell you other than to tell you that you can be happy if you want to be. You can be a success if you want to be. You can be rich. You just got to want to be. Well, you know what? You know what today is? Today is Monday, February the 13th, and it is somebody's birthday. Yes, sir. And you know what? It's not only somebody's birthday. We got some great birthdays today. Here's a fellow born 1944. He's best known as host of the tabloid talk show. Happy birthday, Jerry Springer. And a fellow born in 1950, musician and songwriter who rose to fame in the progressive rock group Genesis. He went on to have a successful solo career. He is happy birthday to Peter Gabriel. Absolutely. And then finally, born in 1979, an actress best known for her role as Angela in American Beauty, as well as the comedies American Pie and its sequel. Happy birthday, Mena Savari. Yes, sir. Well, I know you're wondering what happened today in history. Well, sit down in your favorite chair, relax, and let me tell you what was going on February the 13th, 1981. A series of sewer explosions destroys more than 2 miles of streets in Louisville, Kentucky. And on this date in 2004, the Harvard-Smithsonian Center for Astrophysics announces the discovery of the universe's largest known diamond, white dwarf star BPM 37093. Astronomers named this star Lucy, after the Beatles. Absolutely. And then finally, after the Beatles, after the Beatles song Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. And then finally on this date in 1566, St. Augustine, Florida was actually founded in the United States. Well, let's talk about the quote for today. It actually comes from Calvin Coolidge, and Calvin says, "No man ever listened himself out of a job." You got it? No man ever listened himself out of a job. Yeah, that's actually prolific if you think about it. Let's talk about those interesting but useless facts. We've got a number of them, and we've got a few minutes, so let's go ahead and deal with those. Did you know that the Oscar statuette was designed by MGM's art director, Cedric Gibbons? And he did that in 1928. The design has remained unchanged except for getting a higher pedestal in the 1940s. Other than that, Oscar remains the same. Did you know that until the time of the Caesars, all Romans were vegetarians? Gosh, I didn't know that. That's hard to believe. Must be true. These people that we have searching these things couldn't be making that up. Try this on for size. Did you know that Orson S. Fowler, who in the mid-19th century popularized the science of phrenology, was also the inventor of the octagon house, an 8-sided dwelling that enjoyed great popularity in America from the 1840s through the 1860s. The octagon house, yeah. Well, did you know that a pound of grasshoppers is 3 times as nutritious as a pound of beef? You know what? I'll just eat 3 pounds of beef. I'm gonna go for taste. Did you know that all pilots on international flights identify themselves in English, regardless of their country of origin? All pilots. That is the language of flight. Well, you know, the term "the whole 9 yards" comes from fighter pilots in World War II. They would say that they got the whole 9 yards when they emptied all their rounds on a certain target. Reason being is the gun that the bullets were fired from was 9 yards long. Isn't that interesting? Kind of, huh? Yeah. Here's another one for you. You know that the first chimpanzee to travel into space was named Ham. Now, he got the name from the lab that he was raised in, the Holloman Medical Laboratory in Alamogordo, New Mexico. Now, Ham flew in a Mercury space capsule in 1961. His trip also proved that space travel was safe for humans. Isn't that interesting? Yeah, it is. Here's one for you. The Red Sea in the Bible is a long perpetrated mistranslation of the Reed Sea. Didn't know that, did you? Not the Red Sea, but the Reed Sea. It was a translation issue. Well, did you know automobiles take up about 24% of the total area of Los Angeles? Yeah, give that a thought. And Los Angeles is big, folks, I'm going to tell you. How about this one? Did you know use of less fertilizer at precisely the right times can cut costs by up to 17% for farmers in developing countries and reduce damage to the environment at the same time? That makes sense, right? Sure it does. Did you know that Thomas Jefferson anonymously submitted design plans for the White House? They were rejected, though. Now, my genius grandson, Joey, he'd know all about that. Absolutely, he would. Did you know the winter of 1932 was so cold that Niagara Falls froze over completely? We got pictures of it. Really outstanding. Let me leave you with this one. Female lions do 90% of the hunting. Sounds reasonable to me, doesn't it to you? Well, don't go away, because when we come back, we're going to be doing our tribute to the late, great Paul Harvey and the rest of the story. Today's story is pigeon problem. Absolutely. We're going to talk to you about it right.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful and visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 4:54 p.m. Pacific time. Currently 71 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. It's on its way down to 49 degrees. And if you're listening to us on our globally syndicated network and you're in Hong Kong, it's 61 degrees and partly cloudy. And if you're in Lisbon, Portugal, it is 54 degrees and partly cloudy. But right now, we're going to do our tribute to the late, great Paul Harvey in the rest of the story. You know, the American Broadcasting Company calls him the biggest voice in America. He's Paul Harvey, and each week millions of listeners, viewers, and readers await his unraveling of the mysteries of events and the lives of the people past and present. He was heard on over 1,400 radio stations, seen on 110 television stations, and read in 300 newspapers. The rest of the story has for years been exploring the byways of history with revelations that are intriguing, amusing, and surprising. Well, today's story, as I told you, is pigeon problem. Yes, sir. You know what? During our nation's first century, there was more than a vast westward expanse of wilderness to tame. America was plagued once by pigeons. From Nova Scotia and central Quebec, south to Kentucky, and west to the eastern edge of the Great Plains, billions of pigeons blackened the sky, blighted the forests. Well, frequently their winter migrations took them as far south as Florida, Arkansas, Texas, and then in 1813, American ornithologists John James Audubon wrote these words after gazing into the Kentucky sky. The air was literally filled with pigeons. The light of noonday was obscured as by an eclipse. And with a noise like thunder, they rushed into the compact mass. Audubon guesstimated more than 1 billion birds in that single flock, and ornithologists today agree he was probably right. At one time in the mid-19th century, there may have been as many as 9 billion pigeons in the United States alone. That would have been 40% of all American birds, in numbers more than twice the present-day population of human beings on the entire earth. Whereas most animals require space to survive, those pigeons apparently thrived in a literally stacked-up society. In the forest where millions congregated, branch space eventually ran out until birds were actually standing on top of other birds to form feathered pyramids 3 feet high. Then the branches would break. Under the enormous weight, saplings bent to the ground, and the floor of the forest would fill with pigeon droppings 6 inches deep. By the 1860s, news of the flight or nesting of pigeons was flashed to bounty hunters by telegram, and that is the rest of the story. Well, you know what? You think it is anyway. Earning thousands of dollars a week at the penny per bird, pigeon harvesters would swarm to the nesting site. They used sacks and nets and sulfurous fires to asphyxiate the roosting pigeons. Hunters would labor day and night until the woods had been stripped clean. During one 40-day nesting in Van Buren County, Michigan, 11 million birds were shipped east. 3 carloads a day. Now, feathers were used for mattress stuffing. Innards were used for medicine. The meat of the pigeons was eaten. Live birds, as many as 20,000 at a time, were required for shooting matches. Now, we're going about 50 years ahead in time to September 1st, 1914, to the aviary at the Cincinnati Zoo, where Martha, The pigeon is dying. Now, Martha has received the best veterinarian care available. She is 29 years old, quite old for a pigeon, and she can hang on no longer. For 15 years since the turn of the century, there had been a standing offer of $1,000 to anyone who could provide a mate for Martha. No mate could be found. For Martha, like her ancestors about which you've just read, those billions of birds which once flooded the skies of our continent in a great feathery tidal wave was unique. Martha and those who had flown before her were like no pigeons you have ever seen or will ever see. For the passenger pigeon, with its slate blue head, gray back, and wine-colored breast, whose numbers were so vast that we could not get rid of them fast enough, had dwindled down to a solitary bird in the carefully guarded cage. Martha. There will be some who use the example of her species to demonstrate the vulnerability of an overpopulated society, and others who will shake a finger at short-sighted mankind. Well, perhaps as we attack our problems of today, the tale is most eloquently told. On the 1st of September 1914 at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, Martha died. Neither she nor her family will ever pass this way again. And now you know the rest of the story. Well, don't forget, tomorrow's Valentine's Day. If you want to be happy for the rest of your life, don't forget your wife on Valentine's Day. Tomorrow, we're going to be doing our show with Sean LaFave, and Sean and I will be talking about healthcare on the Geared for Wellness Corner. And I'm going to continue to talk about the late, great Paul Harvey and the rest of the story. And please tell all your friends that we're here on our show on the RLC Broadcasting Network. They'll be glad you did. I'll be glad you did. And you'll be glad you did.
That's our show for today. Beginning today, treat everyone you meet as if they were going to be dead by midnight. Extend them all the care, kindness, and understanding that you can muster. Your life will never be the same again. So many of our dreams at first seem impossible, then they seem improbable, and then when we summon the will, they soon become inevitable. You know, the real secret of happiness is to make others believe that they're the cause of it. Robert Cardoza Live is brought to you by blogtalkradio.com every Monday through Friday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. Now, go out and make it a great day. Your host has been Robert Cardoza, the technical advisor, Matchstick Digital, and your executive producer, also Robert Cardoza.